Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We will now proceed to accounting for lost units in process costing. And before we proceed to problem solving, we first summarize the losses in process costing. Okay, same principle, principle that we did same principle that we used in job order costing. Ang loss, dapat i-classify muna natin kung normal or abnormal. Kasi yung normal, yan ay product cost. Yung abnormal, period cost yun. Ibig sabihin, it will be written off as a loss. And the type of loss in process costing will be continuous loss or a discrete loss. Yung continuous loss na tinatawag ay yung loss which is assumed to occur uniformly throughout the process. Ibig sabihin po, yung continuous loss na yan, walang specific stage or point kung kailan nangyayari yan. As the process goes on or as the process is happening in the products, there is a uniform continuous loss na pwedeng mangyari. Yan po yung continuous loss. Hindi yan nangangailangan ng inspection point para ma-detect. While discrete loss, these are losses that is detected at inspection point or at the end of the process. Ibig sabihin po, merong specific point kung kailan yan nangyari. Either specific inspection point or at the end of the process. Yung continuous loss naman, during the process nangyayari, continuous. For example, in the case of evaporation loss, we do not know kung kailan nag-evaporate, at what stage. As the process is happening, then yung evaporation loss is occurring uniformly. Yan po, continuous loss or discrete loss. So, ang magiging classification natin, normal continuous loss, abnormal continuous loss, normal discrete loss, abnormal discrete loss. Pag normal, product cost. Pag abnormal, period cost. Ang tanong, paano natin i-assign yung cost dyan? Or are we going to determine the EUP for that? Pag normal continuous loss, method of neglect. Mansinin nyo to class, The cost of normal continuous losses are handled through the method of neglect, which excludes the spoiled units from the EUP. So kung normal continuous loss, method of neglect, hindi mo na kukomputan ng ng equivalent units of production. At kung walang EUP, yung cost niyan, automatic na absorb ng mga remaining units. Yan po kapag normal continuous loss. Pag abnormal continuous loss, kailangan mong computan yan ng EUP kasi yung loss, yung cost niyan, i-assign natin sa abnormal lost units and then it must be written off as a loss in the period. I-expense natin yan magiging loss yan. Okay? Pag discrete loss naman na normal, detected at inspection point, computan mo ng EUP, depende doon sa inspection point. Ang absorbing units dyan, syempre, yung units that pass the inspection point. Kung detected at the end of the process, or when 100% done, ang ibig sabihin nun, yung EUP niyan, syempre, mayroon, at yung cost niyan, kung product cost yan, kung normal, i-absorb nung units completed lang. Kapag loss detected at the end, yung yung cost ng normal discrete loss will be absorbed by, ang absorbing units lang po is yung units completed. Hindi kasama yung work in process end. Pag abnormal, period cost po, walang mag-absorb ng kwan. Hindi nyo ipapa-absorb yung cost ng abnormal spoilage. Yung normal spoilage na discrete, yun, i-absorb ng ibang units. Kung aling units yon depende. Kung detected at the end, only the transferred out ang mag-a-absorb nun. Only the transferred out. Kasi syempre, yung work in process end, wala pa sa completion yon. Talagang hindi pa yun kasama sa absorbing units. Pag specific inspection point, basta lumampas na sa inspection point, kasama na sa absorbing units. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Halimbawa po, inspection happens at 50% completion. Siyempre, yung units completed, 100% done ngayon. Kung lahat yun, 100% done, kasama sa absorbing units yun. Kasi lumampas yun sa 50% stage. Yung work in process end, if that is 60% complete, kasama rin siya sa absorbing units kasi lumampas na sa inspection point. Yun ang ibig sabihin po nun, ng absorbed by all units past inspection point. So, makikita nyo dyan, ladies and gentlemen, yung kung paano kukomputan ng EUP. Pag normal, continuous, do not include equivalent loss units in EUP kasi nga, di na natin i-assign yun. Units effectively disappear. Unit costs are increased. Pag abnormal, continuous, compute EUP, assign cost to lost units, and charge as loss for the period. For discrete loss, normal, compute the EUP, assign cost to the lost units, and let the cost be absorbed by units past inspection. For abnormal, compute the EUP, assign cost to lost units, and charge as a loss for the period. Sige, let's now illustrate accounting for lost units using problem number 5. Normal loss occurs early in processing. So this is a normal loss and this is a continuous loss. Makikita nyo, pag sinabi ng problem during the process, early in processing, etc., at walang sinabi kung anong specific inspection point, continuous loss yun, ladies and gentlemen, hindi yun discrete loss. Okay, so, same thing, ano? Magko-compute tayo ng EUP. Magko-compute tayo ng cost per EUP. Ang idadagdag lang natin dito, kung yung loss ba ay normal or abnormal. Kung normal, kukomputan ba natin ng EUP or hindi? Kung continuous loss, normal, method of neglect, huwag mo nang kumputan. All the rest, abnormal, continuous, normal, discrete loss, abnormal, discrete loss, i-determine mo kung ano ang EUP nun. Para makapag-assign tayo ng cost sa mga yon at ma-accounting natin ng tama. Either product cost, so to be absorbed by other units, or i-write off natin as a loss in the case of abnormal loss. Okay, production record show. In process, September 1, 75% complete for processing. 4,000 units. Received from Department 1, 20,000. Completed and transferred to finished goods, 16,000. Lost in processing, normal. The point, normal continuous loss. In process, September 30, 2/3 complete for process cost. The materials I added at the end of the process. So look at this class. Ano? Department number 2 adds new material to units received from Department 1 at the end of the process. So you must determine kung kailan ina-add yung materials para alam ninyo kung ano ang EUP na i-compute ninyo. Okay? And ito po yung cost record. And the requirement is to determine using weighted average and FIFO the following unit cost for each cost component: cost of production transferred to finished goods, and cost of work in process inventory of September 30. Okay, so unahin na natin yung average method. Mag-compute tayo ng EUP. Yun ang una natin gagawin. We summarize the physical flow of units first. Average method, IP beginning, 4,000, transferred in, or received from Department 1, 20,000. Total units placed in process, 24,000. Completed and transferred, 16,000. Ito po yan, class, ha? Ayan, completed to finish goods, 16. Then 2,000 lost units. Then ending is 6,000. Balik po tayo. So 16 completed and transferred, 2,000 lost units, 6,000 ending, total units as accounted, 24,000. So ito, dahil completed and transferred, 100% lahat. Yung lost units, normal continuous loss, method of neglect. We do not assign EUP. Ang labas po niyan as though yung ating units placed in process or units transferred in, it's like 22,000 na lang yung total in the process. But for purposes of reconciliation, of course, we include it there. Pag walang EUP na naka-assign, ibig sabihin wala na ring cost na kukumpitin dyan. And then yun, For the work in process end, okay, 6,000 transferred in. For materials, 0 because materials are added at the end of the process. And for conversion or labor and overhead, it is 2/3 complete according to the information. 2/3 of 6,000, ayan po, 4,000. So EUP, 22, 16, and 20. Average method tayo. Kailangan natin ng cost in the beginning work and process inventory to compute unit cost. Work in process beginning cost. For the beginning work in process, nakita nyo kanina, ito po yan, 620, transferred in cost, and then 2,000 for processing cost. So, our computation ng unit cost is here. For transferred in, 620. Then cost added during September, 1.8. 2,420. Divided by EUP na 22,000, we have 0.11. For materials, we have there, walang beginning, kasi wala pang materials yan. Ang pag-add ng materials kasi, at the end of the process, pag natapos na, ibig sabihin. Yung materials niyan, kasama dito ngayon sa cost added. 4,800. Divided by 16,000, so that's 0.3. For labor and overhead, you have there 2,000 cost of the beginning work in process. Cost added, 10,200. Total cost charged to Department 2, 12,200. Divided by EUP na 20,000. 0.61. And the total cost per EUP is 1.02. At kung ito ay average method, yan pong total cost per EUP, kung last department na, yan na rin ang cost per finished goods. And the total cost charged to this department is 19,420. IP beginning, work in process beginning, then cost incurred during September. Materials, labor, and overhead. Total cost of goods placed in process, 19,420. Ia-assign natin yan saan? sa units completed at sa work in process N. Kasi yung lost units, wala na tayong co-computing cost niyan. Automatic yan, na-adjust na. Inabsorb na nilang lahat yan. Ang labas niyan, automatic nag-increase na yung unit cost nung hindi natin in-include sa EUP. Okay? But no need to compute kung magkano ang cost na naka-assign dyan. It's not treated as a separate element ng costing. Alright. We now compute. Ang units completed po ay 16,000. 16,000 units times 1.02. That is the cost transferred to finished goods or cost of units completed. O, kung na-compute nyo na yan, 16,320, ang entry niyan, ganito eh. Debit finished goods, credit work in process. Madididak yan sa total debits ng work in process na 19,420. Automatic yan, ang ending natin, ito, 3,1. But we can compute it independently. The work in process September 30 has the following cost. Transferred in, 6,000 times 0.11. Tingnan yung EUP ninyo, no? Ito po. Yan, 6,000 transferred in. Walang materials. Ito ang conversion. So, 6,000 times 0.11. Then, for labor and overhead, 4,000 times 0.61. 660 plus 2,440, 3,100. That is now 19,420 as reconciled, as allocated. Okay? Yan. Yan po ang ating average method. Now, if we use first in, first out. Ito. Nag-compute tayo ng EUP. Same principle. These lost units are considered normal. We do not assign EUP. Method of neglect. But for EUP, we will compute the current period work done dun sa mga iba, no? Okay, so again, because this is FIFO, the units completed will be separated into two blocks. I-accounting natin kung ilan ang nanggaling dun sa IP beginning at ilan ang galing sa transferred in. Okay, makinig kayo. Kanina, sa average, hindi ko na tinanong kung saan galing yung lost units. Kasi ang assumption natin doon, yung beginning work in process at transferred in this month, they are all the same na transferred in this month, ang assumption doon. Pero pag FIFO, dapat nating alamin kung saan galing yung lost units. Kasi ang lost units pwedeng manggaling sa 4,000 eh. Pwedeng manggaling sa 20,000. Pero pag sinabi early in the processing, pwedeng mas malaking probability dyan sa transferred in ng galing yan. Ganito ha, pag hindi sinabi kung saan galing ang lost units, pag FIFO, huwag niyong kukunin sa IP beginning. Dito nyo lagi kukunin sa transferred in or unit started. Unless sinabi, lost units galing sa IP beginning. May nanggaling sa IP beginning, may nanggaling sa kwan. Yun ang accounting nun. Para alam nyo kung anong i-adjust ninyong cost. Okay? So, 4,000. Materials added at the end. Ngayon yan tinapos, ngayon inad yung materials. Then for conversion, it was 75% done last month. 25% done this month. So that's 1,000. Yung units completed from transferred in, lahat yan 100%. Yung lost units, method of neglect, no EUP. 6,000 ending, pareho lang kanina sa ating average, ano? Galing sa transferred in this month yan. Wala pang materials because materials are introduced at the end of the process. And it is 2/3 complete, kaya 4,000. So, yung 20,000 na transferred in, ito po yun. Natapos yung 12, lost units yung 2,000, 6,000 yung work in process in. Ang labas nun, parang ang transferred in, yung 12 and 6 lang. 20,000 dapat yun eh. Eh ngayon, lost units, method of neglect. Assume na yung 2,000 were never placed in the process. Yan ang ibig sabihin nun. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng method of neglect. The lost units are assumed to be never placed in the process. Kaya kung dati, yung 18,000 or yung 20,000, yun ang transferred in na mayroong cost na 1/8. Aba, ngayon 18,000 na lang mag-a-absorb nun. Ma-adjust yung unit cost from previous department actually. Kasi kung walang lost units yan, EUP mo dito sa transferred in, 20 yan. Ang cost niyan, yung cost of units transferred in during the month, diba yan? 1/8. Cost from preceding department in September, 1/8. For 20,000 units yan sa totoo lang But, with the lost units, ma-adjust yung ating costing ng transferred in. 18,000 na lang ang mag-a-absorb nun. So, tuloy natin yung pag-illustrate. So, these are the EUP class, Ayan, 18, 16, 17. Again, pag FIFO, we will not include the cost of work in process beginning in computing the cost per EUP. But of course, it is added in the total cost, in the cost added during the department to determine the total cost charged to the department. Pero sa pag-compute ng unit cost, current period cost added lang. Kasi ang kinompute din natin na AUP, current period work done rin lang. So cost added during September, 1/8, transferred in. Divide by EUP. 18,000. So that's 0.10. For materials, 4/8. Divide by 16,000. That's 0.3. For labor and overhead, 10,200. Divide by 17,000. That's 0.6. Total cost per EUP, 1. Well, that is not the cost per finished goods, Kasi hindi kasama tong 2,620 nung nag-compute tayo ng unit cost. So, 19,420, i-allocate natin ngayon. Ito, magiging costing natin. Yung units completed, dalawang blocks yun. Galing sa IP beginning, 4,000 units, na mayroong cost last month na 2,620. Yan po, 2,620. Tinapos yan ngayon, cost added to it, materials, 4,000 times 0.312. And labor and overhead, you have there, 1,000 times 0.6. Base nyo lang dun sa EUP na kinumpute natin kanina. Ito po yan, yan. 4,000 and 1,000. So the total cost of 4,000 units upon completion is 4,420. The cost of 12,000 units transferred in this month and completed this month, 12,000 times 1, that's 12,000. So the total cost of goods completed, yung pong 16,000 units, ito 16,420. 16,420. Yan. So, strictly speaking, strict FIFO, 4,420, cost ng 4,000 units. 12,000, cost ng 12,000 units. But, under modified FIFO, ang pag-compute ng unit cost ng cost of goods completed, ito po. Pagsamahin yan, or total cost of goods completed, 16,420 divided by 16,000 units. The cost is 1.02 as 625 per unit. Okay? Yan. So, yan po yung ating cost per finished goods. Ang ating work in process ending, Transferred in, 6,000 times 0.10, 600. For labor and overhead, 4,000 times 0.624, that's 3,000. So ito po, 19,420 total cost. And we are able to reconcile that with the total cost. Yeah, babalansin nyo yun kasi class eh. Yung total cost charged to the department, then as assigned, ano? Yan lang yung formula ng ano class, yung ating pro forma computation ng cost of goods manufactured. Total manufacturing cost, 16,800, plus beginning work in process, 2,620. Total cost of goods in process, 19,420, minus work in process end, 3,000, equals CGM, 16,420. CGM plus work in process end equals the sum of the beginning work in process and the current period manufacturing cost. Yun lang naman yun eh. So that's it for normal continuous loss method of neglect. Okay? Inom lang ko ng tubig. Okay, next, we proceed to problem number 10. This is weighted average process costing. And this is discrete loss discovered at the end of the process. So we need to determine kung normal or abnormal. This is a discrete loss discovered at the end of the process. For normal loss, we compute the EUP, we determine the cost of normal spoilage, and that will be absorbed by the units completed. For abnormal spoilage discovered at the end, we compute the EUP, we compute the cost of abnormal spoilage, then we write it off to loss during the period. So, given na yung cost per equivalent unit dyan, ano? Unit spoiled 2,100, and it says there that spoilage, of the total spoilage, 1,680 were within normal limits. So, yung 2,1 minus 1,680, yun ay abnormal spoilage po. Okay? So, we calculate EUP and we determine the cost of units transferred out. We determine the cost of work in process end. We determine the cost of the abnormal spoilage and how to account for that. Okay, so we proceed. We compute first the equivalent units of production. We summarize the physical flow of units first. IP beginning, 42. Units transferred in, 42,000. Units spoiled, 21. May normal, may abnormal dyan. Good units transferred out. Babalansin natin yan kung ilan ang ending. So, ito po. For 2 plus 42,000, that's 46,200 total units in the process. Ang transferred out ay 33,600. Excuse me. Yung 2,100 na spoiled consist of normal, 1,680, kaya 420 ay abnormal. At yung ending work in process natin, 10,500. Babalansin nyo lang naman yan eh. No? 46,200 minus 33,600 minus 21, ending work in process, 10,500. So, EUP, 100% ito lahat. Itong spoiled, dahil detected at the end of the process, tapos na yan lahat sa process, 100% din. Ganon din po yung spoiled abnormal, 100% done. 100% ng EUP niyan. Sa ating ending work in process, ay tignan ninyo kung yung stage of completion. Sinabi naman dyan, ano, na the ending work in process ay 70% complete. Ito, May 1, May 31, 40% complete as to conversion. Okay, 40% complete. Materials added at the beginning of the process. So, yung ending natin, 100% as to transferred in, materials added at the beginning, 100%, and then for our conversion cost, 40% ng 10.5, that's 4,200. And here are the equivalent units of production for transferred in, for materials, and for conversion cost. Meron na tayong cost per EUP, ano? Kaya, diretso na tayo sa pag-compute ng cost pag-assign ngayon. So, the cost of units transferred out ay ito. Ito yung cost per EUP, ano? 5, 1, and 3. So, that's 9. At ito ay average method, kaya wala tayong i-modify, i-average pa na cost of, total cost of beginning work in process completed, and then yung total cost of units transferred in and completed. Tulad sa 5 po, ginagawa natin yon. So, yung 9 pesos na yan na yung cost per finished goods initially sa ating costing. Ma-adjust pero yan dahil mag-i-absorb ng good units yung normal spoilage. So, pansinin nyo to, yung 33,600 times 9 plus yung 1,680 times 9. The cost of the 33,600 transferred out ay 317,520. So, magiging unit cost nito, pag kukomputin ninyo, ano, 317,520 divided by 33,600, 9.45. Ang unit cost ng finished goods, 9.45. Yung cost ng normal spoilage, ang cost ng normal spoilage actually ay 1,680 times 9, 15,120. Inabsorb yan ng 33,600 units. 33,600 units. Kaya, yung adjustment for lost units ay 15,120 divided by 33,600. 0.45. Kaya naging 9.45 yung ating unit cost. Yan ang cost ng units transferred out. Okay? Ang cost ng ating ending work in process naman ay ito po. Transferred in, 10,500 times 5. Materials, 10,500 times 1. For conversion, 4,200 times 3. A total of 75,600. And then yung cost ng abnormal, to be written off as a loss, ito, 3,780. 420 times 9. At ang magiging accounting niyan, charge sa loss. Debit to, excuse me, debit to loss from abnormal spoilage, credit to work in process. Pag may spoiled, may salvage value, mababawasan yung loss. Babawasan yung loss, ano? Debit spoiled goods inventory, debit loss from abnormal spoilage, and credit to work in process na 3,780. Okay? And yung isang requirement is the portion of the total transferred in cost associated with beginning work in process inventory amounted to 18,900. What is the current period cost that was transferred in from assembly to finishing? So, beginning work in process ng transferred in, 18,900 daw. Yung cost per EUP ng prior department, 5. O, di ba, ang pag-compute niyan, cost of prior department beginning inventory plus cost of prior department transferred in this month divided by the EUP. Ang tinatanong is yung transferred in this month, ano? So here's the computation. Total transferred in cost. Yung EUP natin is 46,200. Unit cost 5. So 46,200 times 5, 231,000. Less the transferred in cost in work in process beginning 18,900. This is the current period transferred in cost. 212,100. Yan po ang ating spoilage, normal, abnormal, detected at the end of the process. Next, problem number 9. 5-4. Problem number 9, to illustrate spoilage, and then 5-4. Normal spoilage and abnormal, and then detected at the end. Inspection point occurs when production is 100%. Ito yung mga stage of completion ng mga inventory. Ito yung cost data natin. We now compute the cost of units completed, the cost of work in process end, and the abnormal spoilage loss. So first, we compute equivalent units of production. We summarize the physical flow of units first. IP beginning is 11,000. Units started, 74,000. So, 85,000 ang total units in the process. At dahil 5 po ito, yung ating units completed na 61,000 ay we will separate that into 2 blocks. Mayroong spoilage po dyan, normal and abnormal. Ang tanong, saan galing yon? Ang assumption lagi, class, pag walang sinabi kung saan galing yon, kukunin nyo doon sa units started this month or units transferred in this month. Huwag nyong galawin yung IP beginning. Pero pwedeng manggaling sa IP beginning. Hintayin nyong sabihin ng problem. At depende sa inspection point. Ito ay detected at the end of the process naman, ano? Anyway, so, the normal spoilage is 11% of the good units. 11% ng 61,000, 6,710. Yung iba na abnormal, kasi 8,000 lahat yan, ano? 1,290, that's abnormal. Yan. So, work in process end, 16,000. Ito po yung physical reconciliation natin sa units. This is not subsequent department. This is first department, kaya wala tayong transferred in na EUP. We compute now the equivalent units of production. Tingnan nyo lang yung stage of completion na sinabi dyan, ano? Ito po, direct materials. Yung beginning ito, tinutukoy, naka-asterisk, ito po. Ayan. 100% complete material, conversion cost 25% complete. Kaya this month, no more material, 75% naman ang conversion. Ending work in process, 100% material, then conversion cost 75% complete. So this one is 75% of 11,000. Yung units completed from the units started this month, 50,000, 100% lagi yan. Spoiled, normal, detected at the end of the process. Tapos ng process niyan, syempre, kaya 100%, 100%. Ganun din yung abnormal, 100%, 100%. Yung ending work in process natin, 100% as to materials. Then for conversion, it is 75%. So that's 12,000. Total EUP, ito po, 74,000 and then 78,250. 78,250. Okay? Next, we compute our EUP. The EUP for material, the cost per EUP is 20. This 20 is, of course, ito yung formula niya. 1,480,000 divided by 74,000. Hindi ko na isulat dyan, Pero, ito po yan. 5 po tayo. Ang kukunin lang nating cost, yung cost during the current period sa pag-compute ng unit cost. Ito pong 1,480,000 at 942,000. So, ito pong 20 pesos, yan po yun. 1,480,000 na materials cost incurred during the month divided by the EUP na 74,000. At ito namang EUP ng ating conversion cost ay 942,000 divided by 78,250. And to avoid the rounding difference, ayan, kinuha ko yung maraming decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kumpleto. Ayan. We now compute the cost of units completed. Dalawa ang ating units completed, di ba? May galing sa IP beginning, 11,000. Na mayroong cost yun na 250,000 last month. Cost added to that, conversion cost lang, pansinin nyo itong EUP, walang direct materials, 8,250 times unit cost ng conversion, 12.03,83387. The total cost is 99,316. So we have 349,316 total cost upon completion ng 11,000 units. Strictly speaking, yung 349,316 cost ng 11,000 yan. Yung cost of units completed from the unit started na 50,000, multiply nyo sa 32.03833387, and that will be 1,601,917. Strictly speaking, yan ay cost ng 50,000 units. Pero we are not using that strict FIFO, modified FIFO po tayo. Ito pa, yung normal spoilage na 6,710, na kung iti-trace natin para dito class sa 50,000 na mag-a-absorb. Tingnan ninyo, kompleto yung unit cost na 32 point something. 6,710 times 32.0383387. Normal spoilage loss is 214,977. Pag strict FIFO yan, i-absorb ng 50,000, dadagdag dyan sa 1,601. At i-divide mo sa 50,000. Yun ang unit cost ng 50,000. Pero modified FIFO tayo eh. Pagsamahin lahat ng cost of units completed, 2,166,210 divided by 61,000. Total units completed. Ang cost per finished units, ayan po, 35.51165. 35.51165. Tanggalin ko to pinag-solve ko lang dyan sa ano yan. Unit cost. Yan. And then the cost of work in process end, 16,000 times 20 for the materials. For the conversion, 12,000 times 12.03, 83387, 464,460. Excuse me. The cost of abnormal spoilage, yung 1,290 units po, kumpleto ang cost niyan, ano? May materials at conversion. So, 1,290 times 32.03,83387. So, that's 41,329. And the total cost upon reconciliation, that's 2,672,000. Yan po yung total cost to be accounted actually. Ito po yung class, 2,672,000. We assign that, we allocate that as follows. 2,166,210 for the 61,000 units completed. 464,460 for the 16,000 units work in process end. And then 41,329 for the 1,290 abnormal spoilage. Debit to loss on abnormal spoilage, 41,329, and credit to work in process. This one, 2,166,210, debit finished goods, 2,166,210, credit work in process. Ang maiiwan na balanse ng work in process and automatic po yan, 464,460. Okay? I hope that is clear, ladies and gentlemen, for our spoilage. Yung problem number 10 or problem number 8, these are entries, ano? You can just refer to this solution dito po sa transfer ng cost. Dito po sa process costing, bawat department or bawat process magme-maintain ng separate work in process account. At pagka nag-transferred out yung isang department, credit yung kanyang work in process. Doon naman sa receiving department, debit yung kanyang work in process. Okay? So, I leave this to you, class. Kung gusto nyong pag-aralan yan, you can access the solution for the for this Excel solution from the staff ng NCPAR. And dako tayo dun sa handouts ng mga multiple choice. Meron lang akong mga i-illustrate na ibang problems dun. Ito ay may sagot na rin. Sikapin ninyo sanang mapalabas yung mga yan based dun sa ating pro forma computation. Mga loss units nandyan din. But this one, item number 7, 8, and 9 for increase in units, ito ay i-explain ko pa. Okay, so dako tayo saglit dito sa problem 7 sa multiple choice. Kung paanong gagawin kapag mayroong increase in units, or we call that accretion due to addition of materials in the department, in the receiving department. Look at this class, number 7. Chemical agent ABX is refined in the refining department, and after it is transferred to the mixing department, a reactive agent is added to it. So may materials added, and then that will increase the volume. Addition of materials, that will increase the volume or the quantity. 15,000 gallons were added. So yung na-receive mo, 25,000 gallons, when the reactive agent is added, 15,000 gallons, the volume now of the units in the process is no longer 25, 40,000 gallons na. Mayroong increase in quantity na tinatawag. Pag mayroong increase in quantity, ladies and gentlemen, i-adjust ninyo yung unit cost. Kasi yung units received na 25,000, mayroong transferred in cost from previous department yan. Pag FIFO, 100,000 divided by 25,000. 4 pesos per unit, per gallon. Pag average naman, pag sasama-samahin naman kasi yung cost in the beginning work in process, sama-sama lahat. Average na lang. So this one is FIFO. If there is an increase in quantity, we will adjust the transferred in cost. Ang adjusted units ngayon is 40,000 units. 25,000 plus 15,000. Yung 100,000, yan ay cost ng 40,000 gallons na, hindi na 25,000. So for purposes of costing, the adjusted transferred in cost will no longer be 4 per unit or per gallon. Magiging 250 na lang. Kasi 100,000 divided by 40,000. Increase in units. Okay? So same thing in number 8. The addition of materials at the start of the process in Department 2 increases the quantity by 20%. In January, 40,000 units were received with a unit cost of 3. So ang unit cost na 3 times 40,000, ang cost from previous department dyan, or transferred in cost, ay 40,000 units times 3, that's 120,000. But we will determine the adjusted transferred in cost because of the increase in quantity, na 20%. Ang increase in quantity po ay 20% of 40,000. That's 8,000. So the increased quantity is 48. So as daw ang na-receive mo, 48. Yung 120,000 na talagang cost ng 40,000 from previous department, i-adjust natin yung unit cost dito sa department number 2. So, adjusted transferred in cost will be 120,000 divided by 48,000 units. Adjusted units. And that is 2.5. Yan po ang mangyayari dyan, ladies and gentlemen. Merong increase in units, increase in quantity, kaya adjusted yung ating cost per unit. Next, for number 9, ito ay increase in quantity pa rin. We will compute the equivalent units of production. The addition of water at the start of the process in Department B increases the quantity of goods by 25%. So in process, February 1, 10,000 gallons, which is 20% complete. Received from A, 80,000. Yan yung dinagdagan ng water. And due to that, the volume increased by 25%. In process, February 28, 12,000 gallons. So, in process beginning, you have there 10,000. Received 80 increase. 25% of 80, so that's 20,000. Total, 110,000. Yun ang ating i-accounting, 110,000 units. Okay? So, as though, ang na-receive mo, hindi lang 80, 100,000. Plus beginning natin, kaya 110,000 yan. We compute the EUP. This is first in, first out, ano? Ang ending work in process natin, 12,000. Kaya ang units completed, 110 minus 12, 98,000 actually ang units completed. Yung units completed, i-retrace natin from IP beginning. Di ba 10,000 yan? From received, which we have already adjusted to be 100,000, ano? Kasi may nag-increase. So, kung 98,000 yung total units completed, 88,000 yan. IP end, 12,000 gallons. So, ito po yung total natin na $110,000. Okay, compute the EUP. Ang EUP nito is times even application of cost ito. 20% complete, so times 80%. So, that will be 8,000. Then, for the 88,000, syempre, 100%. That is 88,000. Then, for in process end, na 12,000 units, 25% complete daw. So, times 25%. 25% of 12 or 1/4, that is 3,000. So, ang ating equivalent units of production, yan po ay 8 plus 88, that's 96 plus 3, 99,000. So, equivalent units of production po yan. EUP. Equivalent units of production. Yan. 99,000. Yan po ang gagawin, ladies and gentlemen, pag mayroong increase in units or increase in quantity. Yan. Yung mga iba po dyan, may sagot. Kayang-kaya nyo yan, class. You can just ask from the office the answered copy, I'm going to send. And that completes our process costing. Thank you for listening till our next lecture for Afar 17.